Hey, what's good? Welcome to Film Fan. We are going to be talking about Fargo in this episode. This is a television episode. Usually it's movies and stuff, but I might as well put TV stuff on here as well because I do watch TV and there's a lot of good content on television. So let's get into it. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Fargo, not the 1996 film by the Coen brothers, but the actual series that's been running on FX since for the last 6 years. Season 1, they're in 2, 3. They're in season 4 right now, which just premiered. It stars Chris Rock. So we're going to get into it on this episode of Film Fan. Let's do it. Hey, welcome to Film Fan. This is my channel where I discuss all things film and film related and apparently television related as well. So if that is also your thing and you want to hear my passion and my discussion on these things, hit that subscribe button if you've not subscribed already and that little notification bell so you know when I put up new content. Before I begin this episode, I just found out maybe about an hour ago that Eddie Van Halen, has died. He's passed away at age 65 of cancer. So shout out to Eddie Van Halen, rock god, one of the greatest guitarists ever. So I'd feel really funny doing this episode and not saying something and toasting to the late great Eddie Van Halen. The crazy thing about that is I was headed out to the store after work this morning. I went out to the store. I was talking to one of my boys, and we got into just a discussion about concerts and stuff, and then it led to Van Halen. I started talking about Van Halen. We were talking about Van Halen pre-Sammy Hagar versus, David Lee Roth versus Sammy Hagar. We had a whole discussion about Van Halen and how I've been a Van Halen fan since day one, like since Van Halen 1 and straight through. Like I didn't jump on 1984 and then become a Van Halen fan. I was listening to Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2 and Diver Down. So bit of a sad piece of news that we lost Eddie Van Halen. He's a rock god, a guitar god. And that really hit me because he this is music that's in heavy rotation with me. This is music that, like, if we lose U2, if we lose Jimmy Page, and when we lose Robert Plant, and when we lose Coldplay, God forbid. I'm saying all this like God forbid, like, when it happens, David Gilmour, when like these are people that are heavy rotation in my house. Jay-Z, like Sade. If there's a bunch of people where if we lose them, I won't be breaking out their records all of a sudden because we lost them. It's like these are people that I listen to on a regular basis. So anyway, again, shout out to Eddie Van Halen and rest in power, my brother. So let's get into it. Fargo, the 1996 Coen brothers film. Now, we're not going to talk about the movie on this episode, although I will probably get to the film on Film Fan, and I will just talk about it because it is definitely fitting in the realm of classic films. And I would just feel like a moron if I didn't at some point review Fargo, starring Frances McDormand and William H. Macy. And Frances McDormand got an Oscar for that role. The film is just iconic. It's a classic. So that is the pretty much the influence and the inspiration for the actual TV show created by Noah Hawley. So Noah Hawley ended up doing a TV show. Now let me tell you about my history with the actual television show. I don't want to sound like I'm a fan because I just got into it. So let's keep it real. About a month ago, one of my boys, same one I was talking to about Van Halen today, asked me in a conversation, we were talking about film and television. He asked me if I had ever seen Fargo, the TV show. And I was like, they made a TV show? I know the movie. He's like, yeah, they made a show. It's pretty good. He's telling me that the show was, really good, and they're coming out with season 4 pretty soon. And I was like, okay, I'll probably check it out. Now, he's a reputable source, so I'll just say that. I usually will check stuff based on the source. So if I get a reputable person, a friend, guiding me towards a movie or a television show, I will do so based on that person's credibility when it comes to things. And Ken is pretty credible. So now, less than 24 hours after that conversation with Ken, I got a call from my dad, and he's another one where we talk a lot about film and television. I shouted him out before, my father, on when I was doing Mad Max. Shout out to Dad. So he called me less than 24 hours after that conversation with Ken and started talking about Fargo. He said, have you ever seen Fargo? Do you watch Fargo? You know that show Fargo? And it almost seemed like the conversation that he called me for was only about Fargo. I was like, no, but you're the second mofo that told me about Fargo. So needless to say, long story short, I started watching Fargo. Now, let me tell you something. One of the rules I have is if you learn about a show late and it's already 2-3 seasons in, you don't start watching it. You got to go back to the beginning, and that's where you start. So naturally, I started at season 1, and I watched season 1, 2, and 3, and now I'm on season 4, starring Chris Rock, and I have not been disappointed. It is everything has been cracked up to be. So let's talk about the series. So season 1, starring Martin Freeman, Colin Hanks. You got Billy Bob Thornton as the main bad guy, and he is just like fucking insane as usual. I mean, it's Billy Bob Thornton, so picture him at his most grimy, evilest, and that's what you're gonna get with evil, and that's what you're gonna get. You even got appearances by Jordan Peele, Keegan Michael Key, Oliver Pratt, and Bob Odenkirk. Really, he plays like police chief, and he's just like, he's great. So season 1, the thing about Fargo is, so let me back up. Let me slow down and back up. If you haven't seen the movie Fargo, then the television series is going to be good for you, but it's not going to be the same thing. So if you're familiar with the movie and you've seen that and you understand that and you totally get where that's coming from, then the actual TV show is going to mean a shitload more to you. So I will just say that. Let me put that up front. So for me personally, when I started watching season 1 and with Martin Freeman and Colin Hanks and Billy Bob Thornton, the first thing that struck me was how well Noah Hawley captured the nuance of that Coen brothers dialogue and the script and the characters and the odd, quirky sort of North Midwest sort of thing going on there with like, yeah, you betcha. It's like that whole thing, the dialogue, the characters, the zany kind of odd murder / homicide / accidental homicide. Like it just worked. And like it paralleled and felt very akin to the movie, where you've got William H. Macy, where he hires, Steve Buscemi's character and Peter Stormare's character to kidnap his wife so he can get the ransom money and then return his wife safely. And it all goes the wrong direction and goes downhill from there. And he finds himself in this never ending sort of like downfall. And that's the way the television series plays out. And it's very similar. There are definite direct nods to the show, and there are connections here or there. It's not directly related 100%, but it's its own thing, but there's definitely relations there. And so if you know the movie, again, the TV show is going to be that much more entertaining for you. Season 2, we've got Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons, who is Matt Damon, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. I say that because, I mean, come on, let's just keep it real. That guy looks like, if Matt Damon and Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of the greatest to do it, if those two somehow had a baby, Jesse Plemons would be him. He's a great actor, mind you. So nothing from Jesse Plemons. Shout out to Jesse Plemons. Bokeem Woodbine. Man, listen. I haven't seen Bokeem Woodbine in some time. Now, I know he's been doing some things, but I had no idea what he was up to. I saw this. His role in season 2 is pretty much 90% of season 2. His acting performance, the way he delivers his lines, his character are reason to go and watch season 2. I'm telling you, Bokeem Woodbine kills it, so much so that when I was watching him, a lot of times I'll sit and watch something that I haven't seen before, and then I'll have my phone and I'll quickly Google like, hey, I wonder if this person got nominated. I wonder if this person won any awards, because his performance was that good. And sure enough, he got nominated for his performance, and it's definitely deserving. Shout out to Bokeem Woodbine, because he did his thing in season 2. So keep an eye out for that. Season 3. So season 3 is Ewan McGregor and David Thewlis, this English guy who's just super creepy. But season 3 stars Ewan McGregor, and he plays a twin role. So he's playing 2 roles. He's playing a set of twins, and they're both totally opposite in nature. But the basic, the foundation of the storyline revolves around his character. And season 3 is pretty off the chain too. I think season 1 and 2 were the best. Season 3 is definitely good. And that brings us to season 4. So the whole time I'm watching season 1, 2, and 3, I'm seeing advertisements. I'm watching it on Hulu, so I'm seeing advertisements for season 4, which was to premiere September 28th. But that was like a week or so ago. Remember, a month ago I started watching this, so I'm seeing all the previews for season 4, and it shows Chris Rock, with a switchblade, and he opens the switchblade, and I'm just like, oh shit, Chris Rock. Chris Rock is the man. Like, yo, shout out to Chris Rock, because Chris Rock is the man. One of the greatest comedians, period, if not in the top 2 or 3 right now. So I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to season 4. All right, started season 4 a couple days ago. And so far, I'm going to say this, a little disappointed. Let's just keep it real. Number one, and let me preface this by saying that I'm going to give it a chance. I'm only 4 episodes in, but I didn't feel it maintained the veneer, the whole thing of Fargo. It didn't have that thing going on. It doesn't feel like Fargo. It feels like a whole separate kind of TV show. It just doesn't have the same thing. There's some quirky characters in there. There's some weird stuff going on, but it just feels like another show. It almost feels like a Boardwalk Empire-esque kind of thing. You've got a drama that's dealing with crime families back in the 50s in Kansas City. And it's there, but it's not quite Fargo yet. And that's what made season 1, 2, and 3 of Fargo so damn good, because it really captured the essence of the movie. And you felt like they were true to that. I'm not seeing that yet in season 4, so I'm a little disappointed on that level. I think Chris Rock is doing his thing. He's definitely got something that we haven't tapped into yet with him as an actor. I thought Top 5 is fucking fantastic. Again, shout out to Chris Rock. Top 5 is a fucking great movie, but I haven't seen his acting really, and it's not his fault. I just think I haven't gotten far enough in the season to really see it pan out and to really be whatever. So that's my take on season 4 so far. I'm anticipating it gets better. I'm wanting it to get better, and I hope there's some surprises there for me. So anyway, that's it for this rant on Film Fan. This is just about TV. And again, shout out to Eddie Van Halen, who passed away. But anyway, if you're familiar with Fargo and you're watching the seasons, you're watching, season 1, 2, and 3, and 4, let me know in the comments below what your favorite season is and what you think of the actual series. Also, let me know what you think of the movie. If you're a fan of the movie, I'm going to get to that soon on Film Fan. Also, specifically, let me know what you think of Chris Rock in season 4. Let me know in the comments. And as usual, if you like this video, hit that like button. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your support and your love. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell for notifications when I put up new content. And I will see you on the next Film Fan. Again, shout out Eddie Van Halen, rock god, one of the greatest.